welcome to our new episode of Las Patronas podcast. My name is Luz Corral, the credit expert.
And I'm Alicia Mayoral, the real estate expert.
And today we're going to be talking about a topic that is so important. I'm pretty sure not just to us, but to a lot of people out there, because we tend to either get it a lot or not get anything of it, right? So go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about the subject.
So first and foremost, like my wife loves to say, we are Latinas. We are entrepreneurs, own multiple businesses, and we are married to each other. And a lot of the businesses that we own are together.
Yes. And throughout the years of us owning our business, before we met each other, we were already entrepreneurs and we were already doing what we do and other things. So I've always been a serial entrepreneur and done a lot of everything. So throughout my career, the topic today is
the support of your family and friends
in business.
So, and how important is it?
Go ahead.
So for me, as you mentioned, I've been an entrepreneur since I was about 20 years old. And driving here, I was actually thinking about the topic. I feel very strong about the fact that my success was in a huge part the support that I had of my ex-mother-in-law and father-in-law. A lot of times, you forget, you part ways. And when I was kind of going back to thinking how I became so successful at such a young age, I feel that a big reason was that I had the support. I had someone to lean on, talk to, and that was them. They didn't always, have the same ideas that I did, but it was nice to have that support in general. And I think that makes a huge difference because when I did get divorced, that was the support that I lost. And I don't know about you. Well, I do know a lot about you. And I do know the support that you haven't received and such. But with me, with my own family, I didn't get that support. I didn't at all. I didn't have anyone where I could be like, hey, I'm going through this. What do you think I should do? And unfortunately, the real estate business is very cutthroat and it's very hard now because it's a trend. Now people want to be coaches. They want to make money off of teaching you their secrets. So all of a sudden it is trendy to support and mentor others. But when I got into this business, no one wanted to share secrets with you. And including the brokers that I worked for were actually trying to figure out a way that they can actually come up on me and make money out of my success rather than helping develop my skills and actually mentor me and support me to be a better agent and make more money. So I feel that family support is definitely everything, but this topic is really important because some of us get stuck. We get stuck thinking like, I can't do it because I don't have a mom and dad that support me. I don't have a sister. I don't know anybody that has money. I didn't know anybody that qualified for a house. Growing up, I grew up very poor, and most of the people that I knew were like on Section 8 or something. So if I would have been stuck thinking I can't, right, because I don't have the support, I'd still be there right now. Yeah. And I know your story is very similar as well.
Yeah. And when I go to support, I am talking about, well, for me, I can only speak for myself. I'm talking about people really supporting your business and really supporting your goals, I know now that when the kids, for example, or other people that are in our family. I have a nephew who's a rapper who nobody knew he was a rapper, and he just released like his third song. And as soon as I found out, I reposted him on Instagram and I told everyone. And I even have like a producer here that I talked to 2 days ago that he's willing to make a song whenever he comes. So it's like I always look for opportunities for those that I love and to support them in whatever dream they have. When the kids, talk about their dreams and goals and music and singing and dancing and doing this and doing that, or cutting hair, doing hair, we're always there to support them. We repose, we do. But that's the way you show love. You don't have to give me money. You don't have to fund my dream. Support, it can be shown in multiple ways, right?
Correct.
So for me, I can't tell you that I had that support. I can tell you right now that I have one of my nieces. Her name is Nicole. Mm-hmm. She's always reposting our shit.
She does.
She's always like trying to support us. She's always like telling people about our business. She's always like, I never ask her to do it, but she does it out of the kindness of her heart.
Right. But nobody asks us.
No.
And we do it all the time for people.
And we do it all the time.
And that feels beautiful to know that you have that support. I don't have, my siblings never repost my shit.
Yeah.
My siblings don't even call me to say like, hey, like, how was your event? I know that you've been working so hard, or you're, vice president of this, or you're doing that, and never.
I feel almost sometimes that you go into a family gathering and people are purposely avoiding the conversation. They don't ask, how's it going? How's the business going? The only two people that ask me that question is my parents. And it's so sad because, and I love them to death. I know that it's just a conversation for them, because they probably don't even know what I do because they're so much older. They just know that I have businesses and they come to the office and they see, but they don't really understand what we do, but they just ask because it's a conversation, not because they really understand what's going on. They don't know about social media. They don't know about everything. So to be quite honest with you, have I had any support in my family and friends? No.
Yeah.
No, my best friends, they don't support me. They have shown up to a couple of events, but I don't see that support. Yeah, they have referred us clients in the past, but do I feel like I've been supported? Like, I have friends that own shops, like we have a friend that owns a coffee shop. Anytime I can, I repost him. His grand opening, yeah. I was there. We were there. We take pictures. We tag them because you never know. I'm originally from Orange County, so I know that I do have a following from Orange County. So why not? Even if it's just one client you can draw to your coffee place, it's one client.
Yeah.
We have a friend that is a hairstylist. And ever before he became as big as he is right now, he's always felt the support from me.
Yeah. And he's always supported us.
And he's always supported us, even behind the scenes when people don't even know that he's been supportive.
Yeah.
So that is so it's you have hundreds of family members and friends, and you can literally count the people that support you with one hand,
And it's, and it's so sad, but at the end of the day, that also comes from our lack of finding other relationships. I think this year we've really been making an actual effort to find relationships with like-minded people, because if you continue to hang out and spend your time with people that are, because I've known them 10 years or 20 years, not because they actually offer anything to your life, that's not always the best way to be. And that's so hard. I think it's taken age and a lot of trial and error and things that have happened for us to realize that in order to change your life and change who you are, you must change who you're around.
100%. And it takes, I wish someone would have told me that before. I
heard it all the time because I would ask people, when I first got in this industry, I knew millionaires at that point already. And they would tell me all of my friends are wealthy, right? And I wasn't part of that circle. I was very young, very green in my business. And I would, think to myself like, wow, like that's true, but it's really hard because when you're a person that's very loyal and you grow up being a certain way, it's hard to say, well, like these friends don't have drive. Instead, what you do is like, let me help them. So a lot of my friends, I help them build wealth in real estate, and I help them purchase their homes and sell their homes. And when short sales came about, I helped them get money to relocate and do things like that. But they never really had the backing to turn around and say, now let me help you, right? So then what ends up happening is all your energy is taken by giving, and you at no point receive. And the least you think that people can do is repost your small business. Well, now it's not a small business, but your business in general, and be proud of you.
And see, to me, I've never been affected by other people's actions. Like I've always had very thick skin. And I grew up like that. I never really care about what other people thought about me or how other people reacted to my actions. Like that's never been something that I worried about. But this recently, when we had the relaunch of EXP and Your Blueprint, we had over 100 people here, and 0 were family members. None of my cousins, none of my nieces, none of my cousins, none of my sisters, no one was here except our kids.
Yeah.
And everybody else was employees. And that's, a big one because we know they're part of the company. And two, it was mostly colleagues and friends. But my close circle, no one was here, so it makes you realize it doesn't really, I'll still invite people, if we have another relaunch, once we have another grand opening, I'm still going to invite people. But that just shows you, the importance of your success or your non-success to people that you really care and truly love.
Yeah.
And the behind it is like, you work so hard and you do so much for your family. You do so much for your friends. You do so much for your immediate family, but yet they can't support you on something that is so important.
Yeah, it's our livelihood.
Us,
Yeah.
It's like, it's sad, but at the end of the day, I'm so used to it already that it doesn't really faze me anymore. And I'm going to translate this. I'm going to put subtitles so you can read it in Spanish. So there's nothing that my nieces or my nephews will do that I would not be there to support them.
Yeah.
And you know that. And you know that for the kids, we're always there no matter what we have going on. And for my loved ones, I'm always going to be there. And if there is a way for me to help them follow their dream, I would always do it, no matter what,
Yeah.
So I think if we had more of that, we will be in a different place. But then again, because we didn't, we are where we are now. So everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. And most of all, again, like I said, don't get stuck on it. A lot of us go through it. Lack of support, it doesn't mean lack of desire, dreams, and effort in your part. You actually should give it more effort, and you should actually have bigger dreams, because it shouldn't stop you, the fact that you feel like you have no support. I had, a little girl, and I didn't have my mom helping me watch her, or my siblings, or anything like that. And I figured it out. So don't let that stop you. I know that it was hard sometimes because I would see the support that other agents got from their, husband or from their family or things like that. And I always wanted to look at, let me find a mom like me, that's juggling it all. And it was so hard because it was like that. They either had the nannies or they had really, close parents or things like that. But don't let the fact that you don't have it, make you think.
Find your support system.
Yes. And make you think that it doesn't have to be your mom and dad. It doesn't have to be your husband. It doesn't have, you can find those friendships in people.
You can find your support system. And that's what it's so important to network and to meet like-minded people that are going to, honestly, I feel like throughout our lives, throughout our career, there are colleagues out there that are happier for us than anyone else, and it sucks because you do have family, but at the end of the day, what you said is so important. Don't let that take away from your dream, because that should actually push you more to do what everybody thought you weren't going to be able to do. And there's no better revenge than doing what they said you weren't going to be able to do. Yeah. Find your support system, find your tribe. And it's okay that it takes you, sometimes it takes you a long time to find like-minded people in your tribe. But at the end of the day, it's so important, and it's so it brings you so much happiness. So my recommendation, my advice is support other businesses, support other friends, support your family, support the young ones that are doing something, support those kids that are 15, 16, 17, they're starting their own business, whether it's a car wash or there's, whatever it is that they're doing, support them, because you have no idea what that means to them.
Yes. Like a lot of the times when we have events, we have young business owners. For example, the money making mommies brunch that we had.
Yes.
We had Gigi's Creations, and they were these little tiny pancakes that were so yummy. And she's only 18, and she's a girl. She's a female. And she had the support of her little sister. And they were here making pancakes, and that is so important to support our youth. Another thing is, stop trying to find your tribe at the club, partying, doing the things that are not going to make you successful in life, if you ask yourself like, oh my God, all my friends are drama, they just get drunk every weekend, they're partying it, they hate their job, they hate their relationship. What do you think is going to happen to who you are? Right? So you surround yourself with that toxic behavior, you surround yourself with toxic people. That's the same thing you're going to get. Now, we still go out. Like, we're going to go out this weekend to celebrate our friend's graduation on Sunday, but there's a time and a place, and you definitely want to start looking out on Eventbrite, on Meetup, on people that are doing stuff for themselves, whether it's yoga, hiking, business, real estate investments. Just try to find people that are maybe not where you are already, but where you see yourself being. Yes. Right? So if you surround yourself with those type of people, what's going to happen is that lifestyle is going to come to you. That was a huge reason why I was so successful at such a young age, is that the only social life I had was work, and I was surrounded by top producers. The office that I joined was nothing but top producers. So it gave me a certain scale of, this is where I want to be. So this is the behavior that I need to lead.
Correct. Today we're going to a grand opening for one of our colleagues.
Yes, I'm so proud of her. Unfortunately, I can't go, but I'm so proud of her.
She is opening her office in Corona, her first office. She's been doing this for years already, but for the first time, she's opening her own office. So you know how important that is. Doesn't matter the size of your office, doesn't matter how many employees you have. Hey, you did it, and you're gonna keep on growing. So we're super proud, and we're gonna go, and we are gonna meet like-minded people. We are gonna meet other entrepreneurs, other business owners. So it's so important to support your circle. They support us, we're gonna support them. So even if they don't tag you, even if they don't repost you, you do it for them. Who cares? You support others. Show them that you are not going to be doing the same things that they're doing to you. So keep on going, don't give up, and choose your support system. It's okay if that support system that you thought it should be your support system, it's not.
Yes.
Right?
And then I also say stay away from doing business with your family to begin with and your really close friends. It's really tough. Unless it's just like a relationship like us, our marriage, it's going to really push your limits. So make sure that if you are going to do something with your family, that relationship is really solid and good, and the communication is really there. Because if you just want to start businesses with people that you love, that's not going to work.
I disagree with that. I think that even when you think you have that solid relationship, even when you think you have great communication, shit has not worked out. So I will just suggest don't do business with best friends or with family. Like it's literally so hard. I've never heard of a business owners that actually their partnerships with their family and their best friends actually worked out.
The Kardashians.
Yeah, because they get into it all the time, and they've had a lot of issues. But obviously they get paid so much money, so money talks,
And just have everything in writing. Any business relationship, period, that's so important. Is if you don't have that, you're going to have disagreements. And all you say is like, paragraph 19, section A states, so this isn't even an argument. This right here.
I know, but it's hard to separate business with personal. We've been doing this for so long. We've been entrepreneurs for so long, and we're contract driven, but not everybody is. So sometimes even clients, even when you have a contract with the client,
you screenshot it and you send it to them.
They still fight you on it, and they still play the victim that they didn't know what they were signing, and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't do it again. I will never do it again. Like, I'm sorry. I don't care if it's our own kids. Like, I'm not going to partner with them because I don't want those disagreements of business to get in between our personal life. And it's so unfortunate. You can't tell me that you're going to have a disagreement in the business and then you're going to go home and chit chat like never, you can't separate. It's so hard.
And for me, I'm going to have a business with each of my kids, period. I have learned and done so much for them my entire life that I want to pour into them everything that it's taken me blood, sweat, and tears to learn. And I don't want to be a parent like a lot of parents and just leave them money when I die. I need to leave them with knowledge. And if anything, I feel so strongly about how smart my kids are and how hardworking and like they're such good people that I know that they're going to propel our businesses to another level. Like I just know that in my core that that was meant to be that way.
Yes. So, with that being said, share your story with us. Let us know if you've ever gone through something similar or if you're going through something similar. What's your support system? Have your family been there for you? Have they not? What's going on,
And another thing I would love to do, this is something that I've been wanting to do for years and I've told Luz about. I already have the community Money Making Mommies, but I want to have like a yearly conference and I want you to be from humble beginnings, someone that's very driven, that wants to meet other women in business, Latinas, minorities. We just go through it differently. And I think that's so important to find a space where you can collaborate and unite and really like share your story, because someone that might be at the very beginning of the story that you have already, struggled and conquered can learn so much. And you again could be reminded of why you struggled and conquered these things by putting yourself in their situation, So I think it's a lot of give and take and to find those connections with people, because at the end of the day, we are people, like we need to connect. It's just in our nature.
Yes, and we're not going to be limiting ourselves to only California. If you're out there, if you're a girl, if you're a woman woman, or if you're a mom or not a mom, but if you're an entrepreneur, if you've gone through, some of the things, if you can actually, what's the word? If you can relate, if you can relate to us, to anything that we say, and you're somewhere, I don't know, in the world, please reach out to us. Tell us your story. Let's connect, and let's see how we can put something amazing together, because we can't be the only ones. And I know we are not.
Yeah.
So let's support each other. Let's build that support system. Imagine having hundreds of ladies, thousands
Yes.
of ladies get together for one purpose and one purpose only. We cannot change the world.
Help each other succeed.
We cannot change the world, but we can change one person at a time, and we can give them that that they need, that we needed at a certain point of our lives,
and that still need.
Yes, yeah. and that drive, that what's it called? That word of wisdom, that we probably needed so much and we didn't have it, and that could have changed our lives so much, to the opposite direction. Like, I don't know, like. Sometimes we talk to people, and we're like, oh my God, it changes our whole perspective on things. Imagine if we would have had more of those conversations rather than not. Because I feel in our culture, we kind of stay quiet and we just don't talk about what really is important.
So let me ask you a question. What do you feel out of everything you've been through in your life? What was the hardest thing that you had to overcome, and what did you do to overcome it?
There's been a couple of things. I mean, we went through a really tragic situation with our family, with my dad, back in 2009. I think it was 2009, 2010. My dad got kidnapped in Mexico for 2 or 3 days, and they took everything from us. My parents had worked so hard for their whole life. They sold the business, and literally 4 months after they sold the business, they got kidnapped, because obviously they knew that they had money in the bank. The kidnappers, they took absolutely everything for ransom, and they released my dad. But ever since, my dad has not been the same person. He suffers from a lot of anxiety and
like PTSD.
PTSD, yeah. He does have nervous attacks. I mean, he's just never been the same person. So they took away money, but they took away my actual dad, how he actually was. It was a really bad situation, because you don't just deal with that in the moment, but you deal with everything that comes after, such as they had to move. They had to move from Mexico to here. I wasn't going through a very good patch of my life, so I was dealing with my own issues and with my own troubles here, and then I didn't have to, but I decided I was the one that could help them the most. So I brought them with me. They live with me. I think they stayed here for about 3 years, while they were, what we get all getting back on our feet. So it was a very traumatizing experience, more for my dad than everybody else. But it was pretty crazy. We can talk about that episode if you want, because there's so much to talk about, how it happened and what it happened. It's almost like a movie, you know. But what did I do to overcome it? I never gave up. I never gave up. I had 2 dogs, and I have my parents now. So if I never give up before, when I was just me, I would never give up with when I have 2 dogs that really need me, and they need, you know, their mom, which is me, and my parents, who were going through a very tragic time, you know. So I don't know. I can tell you, babe, it's just, there are times where I looked in the past and I see myself in the past and I go, how the fuck did you do it? You know, it was really tough. Not just financially, it was tough emotionally. It's just, it took a toll on everyone, but it took a toll on me. But I've always been, out of the family, I've always been the one that, you know, can do everything, the one that helps everyone, the one that never gives up, the one that is always there for everybody else. You know, I've always been that person. So I probably was super sad and super destroyed internally, but externally I was showing to be just fine. You know, and now that I'm older, I look back and I'm like, damn, bro, you really did make it happen, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it again.
I'm sure you could.
What about you?
What about me? What was the hardest? Shit. You know my life. It's been tough since I was a little girl. If I had to say, like, what was the hardest, was probably when I was in my worst situation, which I was married. I was in an abusive relationship. I was 18. I didn't have my driver's license. I didn't have a high school diploma. I didn't have anyone to watch my daughter. I didn't have anywhere to live. I either stayed with my ex-husband. I was like screwed. Like, where was I going to live? I couldn't just move into like one of my parents' houses. So I think that must have been the hardest. But then emotionally hard, it was when you met me, my daughter's, you know, mental health issues. That was like the thing that, like, I could say it honestly, like, it broke me. And then, like, I had to put myself back together again. And then it broke me. Like, that was the hardest thing. I like, you know, if my kids are not okay, I'm not okay. So at least when I was younger, I had the power to overcome it because of my daughter. I knew that there was no other way. Like, Alicia was going to be successful. She was going to buy a house, to raise her daughter, to empower her, to teach her and love her the way that I had never been loved. Like, that was not a question. So it was easy because I had a goal. When you're dealing with someone else's health issues, all you can say is, like, my daughter's going to get better, but it's not up to you. It's completely out of your control. So a big thing was just, like, reminding myself, like, I have been through so much. This can't be the one thing that ends me.
Yeah, I remember.
So there you go. Now you learned a little bit about us, and I hope that our stories add
value.
Some value to you, and hope that no matter what you go through, you can do this. You're a badass bitch.
You got this. You got this. And yeah, for all of you listening and watching us, please make sure that if you do have something to share, if you have questions or, you know, whatnot, just let us know and we will bring it up on the next episode.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, and on the comments, please let us know, like, what topics would you like to hear? We have a list of things that we're wanting to share, but we really want to know what it is that you want to know from us.
Yes. Bye.
Saco mi cadena.